Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rainworld. Long time no see. Now, I need to speak quickly because there's a couple of problems I need to get on and address. First off, no sound. Secondly, I'm recording this in post, my audio, because no sound. And thirdly, right now my game at this point, and I warned about this, it lags out and tends to crash at this area quite a lot in particular. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and stolen some footage online of this particular scene, courtesy of Lime Mime, and this is when the sound comes back and you can finally, hopefully, get some resolution on what exactly is happening at this moment. While that happens, I can... Well, first off, yeah, say hello to Five Pebbles. This guy is named Five Pebbles. That was one of my big revelations that I had quite a while ago. You can hear him talking to us in the background. Or at least trying to talk to us. Yes, this guy is related to Big Sister Moon, the lady we discovered way back when on the shore. And now things sort of start to make sense. This guy is a computer. I'm pretty sure he's a he. I guess the correct thing would be to reference to him as an it. But this guy identifies as a he, and Big Sister Moon, I believe, identifies as a she. So that's how they refer to themselves. Anyways. Big Sister Moon is also a computer, but one that's a lot more rundown. Now, anyways, I can take this chance to very quickly explain a lot that's going wrong. And hey, yeah, we can also talk about lore. You can see in the top left corner, if he would just keep the projection still, you can see the karma, the symbols for karma, and you can see how they build up. This is when the game starts making a lot of these, what you would have thought was maybe not necessarily diegetic in-game. For example, those karma systems, the karma symbols that count up. Now it begins to make a lot more sense because it exists. And here we have the big revelation. Come on now. Is this reaching you? Yeah, we can finally listen. We can finally hear him talk. A little animal on the floor of my chamber. I think I know what you are looking for. You are stuck in a cycle, a repeating pattern. You want a way out. Know that this does not make you special. Every living thing shares the same frustration, from the microbes in the processing strata to me. Who am I, if you excuse me, godlike in comparison? The good news first. In a way, I am what you are searching for. Me and my kind have as our purpose to solve that very oscillating claustrophobia in the chest of you and your countless others. A strange charity, you the unknowing recipient, I the reluctant gift. The noble benefactors, gone. The bad news is that no definitive solution has been found, and every moment the equipment erodes to a new state of decay. I can't help you collectively or individually. I can't even help myself. For you, though, there is another way, the old path. Go to the west, past the farm arrays, and then down into the earth where the land fishes, as deep as you can reach, where the ancients built their temples and danced their silly rituals. The mark I gave you will let you through. That mark also lets us understand him. No, not that it solves anyone's problem but yours. At the end of time, none of this will matter, I suppose, but it would be nice if you took another way out, one free of frolicking in my memory arrays. There is a perfectly good access shaft right there. There's a lot there. And the moment I want to talk about it, my mind pulls a blank. Anyways, here's the cut back to me playing the game IRL. With that lag, real time, when I was playing that game, it took me 21 minutes, what is effectively a 4-minute cutscene. So I was sitting in the background for 21 minutes. I don't know how I did it the first time either. I just had the patience of a god to sit through it for 21 minutes because, well, truth be told, it's kind of mind-blowing how all of a sudden, up to this point, personally, when I was playing it, there's a very, very strong urge or desire to find out what's next, what is beyond the horizon. And this moment really delivers on, what else is there. And suddenly we've been given a mission, head west through the farm arrays and then down into the earth. And something about an old way and, the benefactor's gone. 5 Pebbles and Big Sister Moon are a kind who are together. Oh, and here I'm showing the karma in the bottom left. It's a cross now. That's one of the new things that a benefit that the mark gives us. Now we can speak and understand the speech of Big Sister Moon and 5 Pebbles. But also we have a lot of new karma levels. And the good thing is karma gates are not really dependent on these new karma levels. Oh, and speaking of karma, you can see on the mural in the back, just above, well, I just jumped past it, that upside down 2, the very first level of karma, you can see the mural, it looks like a monk. And in fact, those karma symbols do represent certain virtues and vices. Here's another karma symbol, here's another monk doing something. For example, that upside down 2 tends to appear wherever there is danger. So that symbol could indicate fear. The symbol that appears whenever the overseer, that little helper thing, and this one in particular right here on the mural in the back, it tends to point you, whenever there's food nearby, it uses that symbol to indicate this is food. So that karma symbol might indicate gluttony or something along those lines. So these guys, they're called monks. Well, I'm referring to them as monks. You can hear my dog barking in the background because I have a new microphone. Whoop whoop. You can... there's a lot... Also, there's this final monk who doesn't have any symbol associated with him. I wonder what that means. Anyway, it's time to get a move on. I'm not playing this IRL. I'm commentating in post because I lost a lot. There were a lot of technical issues and difficulties that happened in the background, which ultimately meant that I could only recover the video and not the audio, which included my voice. So that is very upsetting. Yeah. Needless to say, I did think about it a little bit and I realized I almost put off making or uploading this video in the first place because it's a huge punch to the gut and suddenly you lose a lot of motivation to continue. You can see our new karma levels just below the cross. And there is a pattern to them. I promise you, I will die plenty of times and you'll get to see those. What else? And I'm showing off the map here because there's been an update. You can see under the shelter on the map, there's an indicator for a spear. That's telling me that I have a spear in storage in my shelter, in that shelter in particular. So you can now store spears in shelter. Maybe you've always been able to do that, but the map never really indicated. It's especially helpful if you decide to teleport to another shelter and you've stored some spears there. There has been an update, which includes new enemies, new Slugcats to play as, though it's their own campaign. It's still the same map. And here, this is the first time I show you this type of food, this umbrella seed food. If you throw a spear at them, they open up forcefully and you can eat them. They are a limitless source of food for your Slugcat, all Slugcats even. And I mention that distinction because you can now play as more than one Slugcat. One of them is the Hunter. He's really cool because he's a cannibal. Not a cannibal, no, sorry. He's a carnivore. He doesn't eat other Slugcats. He might be able to. But he eats meat. He can eat fruit, but he has a very high metabolism. So fruits only restore a quarter of a circle of food, as opposed to something like a lizard, which you can kill and you can eat. In fact, as the hunter, you are really, really... that is your main source of food. You have to eat lizards. Kill them and then eat them. You can also carry 2 spears at once. So that's a big help. Anyhow, this upcoming scene is what I often reference. This is what often comes to mind when I say this game is unconventionally beautiful. It's this right here, where you're running across this barren field and you can see this desolate, deserted city in the background. And you can see a slight animation in the background. You can see the winds slowly pushing or slowly blowing across the fields. It's remarkable, and I gush about this game a lot for its art style. By itself, it's nothing special, but given most of the tone of the game, this is mind-blowing. This expands your horizons considerably from what started off as a... Oh, did I pick up that pearl? Yeah. Those pearls, the data pearls. I should have mentioned that, but Five Pebbles has these pearls. All the pearls you see in the overworld, they have data stored in them. You can take those pearls to Big Sister Moon to analyze them, and that's how you get lore out of this game, which I've done quite a lot of reading. What am I looking at right now? Why do I keep stopping? Oh, you can see the moon in the background. That's right. I talk about you can see the moon and you can see some green stars. The scope of the game. Oh my goodness. Right. You see this sort of weird blue haze going on right now? That's not normal. That happens when there's something nearby that's worth investigating. And this is when things especially get weird. And it's a shame there's no sound because it sounds all very whale-like. You hear these whale calls. We can feel your presence, little creature. Your attunement has become much closer to ours. The mark you received is an unimaginable gift. The struggle, the cycles, it can all fade like a morning mist beneath the glory of the sun. We found a way. Boom. Now that's, an eldritch abomination, sort of. Whenever, right after this, you get teleported back to the last shelter you stayed at. So, luckily, if you were paying attention, I actually almost missed this shelter and walked right past it. If that was the case, I would have respawned back all the way just before I spoke to Five Pebbles. Which I would have rage quit and I have to eat again. He said quite a lot. Let me just spoil this a little bit and tell you that guy there, that was one of the precursors. One of the people who used to live in this land, but now that's not his natural form. His or her or its. That's not its natural form. It was probably humanoid. If I had to guess, it might have looked like Five Pebbles, probably. Because if I were to build a computer, and I remember talking about this, if I was to build a mechanical/organic supercomputer, I would build it, the organic parts at least, in the image of myself. So that's just something to think about. That was one of the former occupants of this land who was seemingly, he's talking about, we found a way. It's talking about they found a way of ascending. And this is, I'm a sucker for Buddhist imagery and Buddhist mythology and stuff like that. It's, for me, it hits, I don't know. I find it very fascinating, and this game suddenly starts wearing it with pride. Here I'm jumping around. You can see there's a really cool dust particle effect. This specular dust which warps the lighting behind it. It's really cool. I was just talking about how that's really cool. I don't stop jumping because I can just. I love how this game looks. It is so gorgeous in these unconventional ways. And Five Pebbles talks about this briefly. There's the old way. There are these cycles. You keep getting stuck in these cycles of death and rebirth. And that's not just you, it's everyone. And understandably, I'd imagine you'd get very tired of being in such a position of dying and being reborn and then dying and being reborn and nothing ever changes. It's frustrating and trying to escape. There was an old way, which, and you can see here the blue haze is no longer there, meaning I've successfully spoken to the echo, as they're called, because they are an echo of the former land. There was an old way that Five Pebbles mentioned. Head west past and the echo is no longer here. Oh, you can see spires in the background where the moon is. Oh yeah, that's awesome because now I remember some of the things I talk about. So there's an old way which we're trying to achieve to escape the cycle, yet the echo implies that there was a new way because they found a way. And here, this is where I just kind of start gushing about the art in the game because now I understand some of the lore. You can see in the background, first off, the clouds are animated. That's so cool. You can see these blocks, and on top of those blocks, you can see cityscapes. You have spires pointing up into the sky. Those are probably communications arrays. Probably. That said, this indicates that there's more than one 5 pebbles. There's more than one supercomputer, and for some reason, and I know the reason, I'm not going to spoil it as of yet, the precursors, they lived on top of these blocks of computers above the rain. Keep in mind, these guys also had to deal with the rain, except not in the same way we had to. And when I say we had to, I'm suggesting the way Slugcat specifically deals with it. And yeah, now here we are, we're climbing down the other side. We climbed up on the right-hand side through, daddy long leg territory where, the wall eats you if you touch it. And now we're climbing down on the left-hand side. This is a chill climb down. At least it begins that way. You can still see those cities in the background. Really awesome. So yeah, that's all I had to say about that echo. It's just that the precursors, they found a new way to escape, yet seemingly at least one of them did not have the benefits of escaping. And here we have the first shelter and a white lizard that appears, and I start freaking out. I'm very up. Wait, hold on. What do I do? No way. No. Hide. I don't remember doing this. I killed it. And now I remember. That's right. That marks our first kill of any lizard in this playthrough. And here I am taunting it. Yeah, white lizards. They're easier to kill than most other lizards. The easiest being the blue ones. The white ones, I think they take 2 spear throws, maybe 3 to kill them. Oh, I killed it specifically so that after I respawn, I don't have to deal with it. That was the idea behind it. Because, white lizards are the worst. I guess on this side, going downwards, it's not as bad as when I was climbing up on the right-hand side where the white lizards would ambush you and using their freaking 3-meter-long tongues, they would grab you. Oh, and Dragon Slayer, that's a new achievement that you've never seen. You get that for each lizard you kill. So right now you're seeing a white glowing dot that indicates a white killed lizard, and it looks like there is 6 different breeds of lizard I need to kill. And those include white, pink, yellow, blue, green. I don't think red is a required one. What other colors are there? Not too sure. No matter. Onwards we go. I ought to apologize for the lost audio. But believe you me, I tried to recover it and I wasn't going to upload these episodes, but I did anyways because thinking about it rationally, you need to see this footage and hopefully my voice is keeping you entertained enough. It sucks because on the one hand, there's not that much... Oh, another white lizard. There's not that much audio in the game in the first place, but that said, it's such ambient audio that adds... Run. Run. No. Okay. Okay. This is fun to watch myself play. And the lizard climbs down the left and comes back up the right. Yes. So I was thinking of not actually uploading these episodes, but I realized I kind of should. Because this is really important. It's really important in the large scheme of things. Off I go, fighting lizards. If I were more practiced... Oh, hey, he missed me. Or he's decided to give up. This is a cool area of the game because you can... There's a lot of areas which you can jump off the side of and there's still ground beneath you. Frustratingly... did you see that pillar? That pole that's actually a what are they called? One of those trap holes that eat you. It's a vine that eats you up. So this is one of those areas where first time playing through it, it's really annoying because you don't necessarily know if there is ground beneath you. And sometimes you will do a huge detour where you'll head leftwards. You'll then climb down a set of stairs and then head rightwards, only for you to discover that the area they're linked top to bottom. You could have just jumped straight down, and I do make use of that. I'll indicate where I do. Because honestly, I don't want to have to fight the enemies in this place. I just want to get out of here. I make a lot of quick progress in these coming few episodes. Speaking of, it's three episodes that are missing audio, which is frustrating. That's 1.5 hours of footage. But yeah, alas, oh well. I also do remember talking about those blue fruits. Turns out those fruits are actually larvae of some kind of bug. I'm not sure. Oh, we'll meet those bugs later. Is it of bugs or is it of something else? Oh, yeah, here we are. Just looking at the bottom, you can see the white lizard and you can see the blue lizard having some kind of a weird party. And you can see me unsure of what to do. And waiting. And getting annoyed. I'm not sure what's going on here. The blue lizard just walks to the right and then walks back. These two enemy types are the worst to encounter in this area because there's lots of sparse platforming segments, lots of open area, but these enemies, white and blue, they can crawl on the background. They can crawl around the background, and that's it's frustrating, needless to say. You saw it on the other when I was climbing up on the right hand side. Do I kill the lizard? You can spear lizards through their open mouth. Oh yeah, see, that's what I was trying to do, like an idiot, and I died. Yeah, I deserve that. Oh man, I do remember sharing a story. I'm just trying to recreate here's a new karma level. Just worth noting, I guess. I'm trying to recreate my previous commentary. I remember telling a story of the first time I successfully speared a lizard through the mouth. It happened with a white lizard, no less, who was about to grab me, and I had an explosive spear. You know, scavengers. There's a white lizard. Yeah, this is easy pickings. Run, little boy, run. Scavengers, they can modify spears to become explosive. They're really good offensively, but bad utility-wise, because explosive spears, you can throw them into a wall, but because they explode, they end up dislodging themselves in the end. So that's why I typically tend to prefer vanilla spears anyways. So I had my hands on one of these explosive spears, which I had stolen from a scavenger. And I threw it at this white lizard, which was about to tongue me. And I hit it in its mouth. And there was this brief pause, a delay, where everything slowed down for a moment, or I'm seeing going, no way, did I just do that? And the white lizard, I'm imagining having this monologue in mind going, and this is where he knew he fucked up. And then with its mouth wide open, paralyzed with fear, it just blew up and catapulted way off screen. And that was glorious. And that is how I learned you could spear lizards through their open mouth. And here we go, that white lizard. I actually didn't see that just now until very last second. You can see me arguing, thinking, should I try to spear it again, or do I do this stupid trick where I wait for it to come up? And it doesn't. Oh well. Let's have another look. Oh yeah, you can see him. Right. Oh, yeah, look. Because his butt is so promising, I think I could maybe spear it. And I'm thinking, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? Don't be an idiot. Leroy Jenkins. And it works. And he fell off the edge of the world. What's really annoying, I think, is Slugcat, he can't travel to other screens that require a use of this sort of triple pipe to get to. So right now, I travel downwards through that pipe. I can't actually access this screen, I believe, by jumping down. I believe I will die, which is annoying because in a lot of instances, lizards can actually crawl between some of these areas. Oh, here's an area I was mentioning. You can just jump straight down. You don't have to head left because you end up heading left, looping back around, coming along this part, this screen here, and then jumping down anyways. It's something I learned you didn't have to do, and the camera is not. Yeah, here we are. A couple of new enemies to keep an eye out for, which I've experienced. There are, for example, a new breed of vulture that can get up here. And that's terrifying. They can fly higher than the others. In fact, they have a ranged attack. They can shoot you. It's so terrifying. Oh, and you see, I'm talking about this pipe just beneath me. It looks like you can head over to the left, doesn't it? That's a lie. If you head over to the left, the pipe ends right on the edge of the screen. So you end up just falling off and dying. Yeah, I lost. I'm very mad. Oh, hey, look at those blue little helpers. We used to have a golden helper who disappeared after we bullied on the shoreline Big Sister Moon. And now we have a blue one. That's notable because these blue guys, they belong to 5 Pebbles. The golden one belonged to Big Sister Moon at the shore. They're called overseers, and they have a little bit of a role to play in the story. Because I'll just leave it at, I'll leave it at Big Sister Moon led Slugcat to her. Yeah, we'll leave it just at that. You know, what does that imply? How does that broaden the scope of the story? Which, not just the scope of the story, I mean more so the scope of the lore. Because now we have these blue overseers from Big Sister Moon. I mean, 5 Pebbles watching us. In any case, now we're below the cloud cover. Before earlier, we were above the cloud cover. We could freely wait for it to start raining. We'd be completely fine. But now we're at risk of being hit by the rain. If I could only look at the time. And this is where I start giving a little bit more of a tutorial on the platforming, because I learned a couple of new tricks. Wow, so little time. See, that sucks without the sound. Speaking of sound, actually, and the new update, it did actually change how shelters work. Normally you have this full animation of shelters opening, this animation here where it shakes, bits move around, and it opens up, clicks open, and then these 2 pipes slide upwards. Yeah, there's been a quality of life change where now whenever you die and respawn at a shelter, the first time you respawn at a shelter, it goes through the full animation. But subsequent times, it ends up getting, it's shortened to only the final part where the 2 poles come up and you can crawl out. So you can pretty much immediately start playing the game without having to wait. It's quality of life, absolutely, but I can't help but feel that it loses some of the ambience. I personally quite enjoy the full animation of the shelter opening. For one, it sounds awesome. Secondly, it looks awesome. And thirdly, it's a moment of calm before the storm, because presumably you just died, and you've just died after a maybe somewhat high-octane moment. So having this brief reprieve from combat and just chilling out in a shelter opening, I like it. It's calm, it's quiet, not quiet, but it's very ambient and atmospheric, and it feels great. Oh, no. Don't go there. Don't go there. I think that loops back to the right-hand side of the climb up the wall, because you can tell by the color scheme, and I rightfully so just walk away because I have no time to be dealing with that. I hate it so much. Oh, hey, and yeah, this is where I show off a new move. You can slide. And even more cool, you can slide and then do a long jump from it. It's useful. You can also roll, and I think I should show off the roll. I do a backflip, and yeah, you roll. And you can chain a roll into a long jump, which is useful. So you can, for example, jump from a height, land, start rolling, and then jump and chain that into a long jump. In fact, let me see. I'm failing, and then I show it off. Ta-da! You can also do wall jumps. The wall jumps that exist in the game where you sort of press yourself up against the wall and then you kick off it and then you kick off the other side over and over again. And it feels sluggish, rightfully so, intentionally so. You can actually do long jumps over larger distances. There is a method where you do a long jump into a wall, and if you time the jump right, you just bounce off it and go an extra long distance. And you can use that to wall climb really large gaps. And so here we are, first Karma Gate in a long time, into the first new area. And there is no sound. Was this the first Karma Gate in a while? Yeah, it was. No. No, it wasn't. There was one just before, after leaving Five Pebbles, after seeing the monks, and just before speaking to that echo. And this is where I start talking about Godzilla at this moment, and I remember I had to cut that conversation short because I had to end the episode shortly thereafter. I was basically, I also talked about Monty Python. But how does Godzilla link to Monty Python? Let's play 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon right here. So you have Matthew Broderick, and then you have... Wait, hold on. Let me go back to why I bring up Godzilla in the first place. This little corridor here, a vulture can actually... There's enough space for a vulture to walk along it. So it's terrifying when you're running away. And I'm like, it's like running away from Godzilla. Like that one scene in the movie where they're driving away from Godzilla. Oh, God, I died. You can hear my dogs barking in the background too. You see, this never used to be a problem. I used to have a really bad microphone and I could get away with murder going on in the background. No one would know, except me. But now you can hear birds chirping. You can hear my dogs barking through a wall. Oh no, this is the end of the episode. I end it very shortly. So thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate your patience with no audio. I'm very sorry. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more Rain World coming in future. But until then, have a nice day.